Hey everyone, me Kevin here. Boy oh boy, we have a lot to talk about, from Nio to Tesla and the Apple car. I'm going to break this into 3 chapters. We're going to start by talking about Nio and Nio Stock, then Tesla and Tesla stock, and Apple stock, and some changes happening to all 3 of these. That's why we are doing a big bundle video here. And speaking of bundles, use that coupon code down below that expires tonight. It expires tonight on January 8th. So use that coupon code to make sure you get into the courses on building your wealth with real estate, stocks, making YouTube videos, property management, you name it. It's all linked down below. And you can use the same coupon code on the individual courses as you can on the bundle courses. If you do not see a bundle option that you're looking for, you can email me at kevin@meetkevin.com. But if your bundle exists, use that website, because I'm going to be pretty slow with email. If you do happen to email me today and I don't get back to you today, though, I will get back to you, and I will honor your price. Okay, chapter 1, Nio. Let's talk about Nio. So recently there have been some complaints, and these are legitimate complaints, that Nio could be a riskier stock because they do battery swapping and battery lease options. So the argument here is simple. If Nio swaps people's batteries out, and Nio is, giving people the option to basically get a new battery, then Nio is inheriting or ingesting as a company all of the risk associated with these batteries. So the maintenance of the batteries, the extra batteries that they need on hand in case something breaks, or the extra, larger batteries, and people want the larger one versus the smaller one. And this is all true, right? Nio's paying the maintenance, the upkeep, the building of these stations, the swap stations. Nio's responsible for all of this. But there's some extra perspective here that's very critical. So think about it this way. Nio's battery swap option, which about 40% of their buyers use, allow people to get a car for about 12 to 18% cheaper. On a, $52,000 car, that's going to be about, an $8,000 discount. Then they pay about $160 per month for the time that they have the vehicle. Let's say on average that a car's useful life, because even if it sells to somebody else would have to inherit those monthly payments. So let's say the useful life for a vehicle is about 7 years. This means that, or even up to 8 years to make math a little simpler. This means that Nio is able to collect $2,000 of revenue per year, probably adjusted for inflation as well, so they'll raise the price and give them inflation protection here. But they're able to get $2,000 per year of revenue for 7 or 8 years, which works out to $14,000 to $18,000, or $14,000 to $16,000, excuse me, which is basically twice what they would have gotten if somebody bought the battery up front. So in the long term, they're bringing in much more revenue to offset the extra costs that they have. But the model, or the brilliance of the model, doesn't just end there. See, a big argument is that, but Kevin, battery technology is going to change. And this is true. After all, I have an original Tesla Roadster, which has a very old battery in it. It's coming up on 13 years. Its battery doesn't hold charge as long as the other batteries, and its range is relatively limited. But if newer, faster, and longer range batteries come out, Nio might be able to take advantage of something really brilliant, and I see the writing on the wall for this. If right now Nio charges you $160 per month to get access to their 100 kilowatt hour pack, let's say in the future there is a battery pack that's twice the size in the same physical space, but twice the kilowatt hour size of maybe it's a 200 kilowatt hour pack. And maybe the efficiency is such that you get 4 times the range out of the battery. Who knows? This all comes down to battery scientists. But then Nio says, hey, our battery stations, our swapping stations, they have both. They have 100 kilowatt hour packs, and you get access to those 100 kilowatt packs, and they might be the old ones, but you get access to those for $160 a month. Battery doesn't last you long enough? Hey, switch it, no problem, right? That's the point of having battery swap stations. You're, as a consumer, not liable for what's wrong with the battery. But then Nio might be able to say, hey, by the way, we just introduced these new fat batteries that got 4x the range, and they're faster and more efficient. They're going to juice up your car even better, and they'll make your car faster or whatever. But we're going to charge those as premium battery swaps. So we'll charge $250 a month. See, in my opinion, no matter what ends up happening with battery swapping in terms of costs, Nio will find a way to provide more value to their customers, providing more optionality, which allows Nio to get more revenue by providing different options. I think it's a brilliant option to where now the customer wins because they get options, and Nio wins because if new technology comes out, they just charge more for it, and then they end up capitalizing on even more compounded revenue than they would have gotten the first time. So to me here, Nio wins by creating a menu of options for their customers. The customer wins, but also as new battery technology comes out, they might be able to increase their profits, but also as battery technology gets better every single year, the costs of actually running these battery stations goes down, and just by the virtue of batteries being able to produce more and being able to be produced more and more cheaply over time, Nio ends up with more profit with the same monthly revenue. So to me, I think Nio is golden on battery swapping. So the complaint, not substantiated, in my opinion. But what about Tesla? Tesla shunned battery swapping. They said, Americans weren't using it, maybe because Americans have more garages or driveway space than people in China do. Who knows? That's one of the rumors. But Elon Musk has a funny thing about him. Every time he senses a threat, no matter how small the threat is, Elon does what Elon does. Elon ends up cutting the price of a Tesla or finding some way to introduce a cheaper car. Many people fault Elon Musk for this. But what did Elon do today? Which today is essentially Nio Day in China, because it's the 9th already in China. It's the 8th as of the recording of this. But Elon decided, hey, it's Friday, the day before Nio Day in America, basically. Let's just go ahead and cut the price, or the effective price, of the Tesla Model Y. See, Tesla has already cut the price of their vehicles twice in May of 2020, twice in the fall of 2020, and now they're introducing a standard range Model Y, which was previously not an option for the Model Y. This means today you can get their SUV crossover for just $41,990, not including the incentives that they list. And you're sacrificing a dual motor for maybe a little bit of speed and 82 miles of range, but you're putting $8,000 more in your pocket. And so now this does a few things, right? Number one, this competes with Nio's SUVs more directly, because remember, Nio, rather than cutting the price of their car, is just cutting the battery out and then letting you lease it back. So Nio's effectively still capturing the full value of the car over time. Tesla takes a different point of view here. They just say, no. We're just going to get cars out there. We're just going to drop the price. And you know what? You keep the battery. We don't care about the battery. It's brilliant. Two different styles, but they attract similar customers. So they're definitely competitors. But the second thing this does is it prices the Model Y much closer to the Model 3, which means a lot of people considering the Model 3 might end up jumping up to the Model Y, helping Tesla increase their margins, because the more Model Ys they sell instead of Model 3s, the more money Tesla makes, because many of the parts in the Y are the same as the 3, but because the Y's a bit bigger, you pay more for the Y. Look, batteries, motors, most of these things are all exactly the same in the 3 and the Y. More people buying the Y, more profit for Tesla, even with a price cut, because they're so close to the darn Model 3 now. Although Tesla could just end up dropping the price of the Model 3 again, which they already have. Now, see, to me, this is potentially a little bit of payback for Nio introducing a sedan. Nio is planning to introduce the ET7, which will be the first Nio sedan in China to complement their 3 SUV and crossovers. Maybe that's, sort of payback on payback, because Nio introduced, Tesla introduced the Model Y, which competes with Nio's SUVs, and now Nio is introducing the Model or the ET7, which competes with the Model 3, and you kind of got this like almost pissing contest between the two companies. But in the end, the consumers are winning, right? And when we look at Tesla and we try to analyze the impact of the stock or what this might do to the stock, one of the things that I look at is, well, look, maybe the Model Y is cheaper now, but because of the benefits we mentioned, probably going to sell some more Tesla Model Ys and probably even bump the margin, even though we had a price cut, which sounds crazy. But it's because they're taking things out, right? The battery pack's going to be smaller. There's one less motor. You're probably saving Tesla somewhere around $5,000 to $6,000 in costs. Now they're capturing more premium buyers. And in the end, I don't think we're going to have a big Tesla margin impact here. In other words, I fully stand behind Elon Musk's decision to introduce a cheaper Model 3 option, or Model Y option, excuse me. I think it's brilliant. And in the future, it's possible that Tesla, which they're already doing in China, will just start selling their Model Y in the United States with the cheaper lithium iron phosphate batteries, which they use in China. And that could make up the difference as well. So to me, there's a lot of negativity about Nio with the battery swapping and Tesla for constantly dropping prices. But I don't think either of these things are an issue. Battery swapping I already talked about. This Model Y issue I talked about, but I also think we're going to increase market share. The lower prices get, the more people consider the Tesla in the first place. So I really think both of these things are great for both of the companies, and you just got to keep buying both companies. My price target is still, my buy under price target for Tesla is still trying to buy Tesla under $800 a share. That's too late now, but you could still buy Nio under $60 a share. But I want to touch on this. Are Teslas just cheap? Are Teslas going to lose because they don't have the quality that Mercedes, BMW, and Nio have. Tesla's vehicles are not only more inexpensive on a price point of view, but maybe their quality is a little cheaper as well. So bear this in mind. Electric vehicles, when we talk about this, you already out of the gate have much less maintenance. But Tesla frequently faces complaints for poor paint jobs, fog lights, steering, problems, or brake noises and squeaks and sounds. And I get it. I have those issues as well on my Model X. So, it's no surprise. But Tesla does something that a lot of other companies don't, especially like a Mercedes, BMW, or Nio, where your motto at some of these companies is perfection is the goal, right? Like it's perfect or it's nothing, essentially, or always better, or some of these slogans that we have at these Chinese or these German auto manufacturers. And Nio is really catering to that sort of audience, especially since the German auto market is huge in China. So it makes sense. Nio's doing a good job here. But why is Tesla so different? Well, Tesla has a belief that we should not let perfect be the enemy of the good. Get vehicles on the road that are extremely safe, which they are, and relatively high quality for, what the price people are paying. Hey, you know what? People are getting a great car. Maybe it's 90% the quality, but hey, that's still an A. And over time, maybe Tesla will make incremental improvements to their manufacturing lines and their paint issues and their other issues, or not. But in the meantime, Tesla gets to crank vehicles out, which is something that Apple is not doing. And see, this brings up Apple. See, when we first heard a story from Reuters that Apple could potentially launch an electric vehicle as soon as 2024, there was a lot of excitement and speculation about Apple. And this immediately had us thinking about designs for the Apple car, and where's it being tested, where's the secret road where they're driving on. Well, unfortunately for Apple, Apple takes so much the opposite approach to Tesla that Apple's probably not going to introduce the car until it's perfect. And that's an issue because in the meantime, Tesla is ramping up like crazy. See, when we look into what's happening at Apple, we can find a recent Bloomberg publication that finds that Apple doesn't appear to be anywhere near ready to even a prototype vehicle, let alone production vehicle. And that's because there doesn't appear to be anything. The Apple car is an idea with a team of engineers working on the car as a project. But Apple's team of hardware engineers, per Bloomberg, are mostly working remotely because of COVID, making progress the last 10 months very slow. They have some people working on speakers and designs and artificial intelligence, and some people working on lighting. Apple's tested LiDAR in some of their vehicles, test vehicles in the past, not prototype vehicles, just retrofitted existing vehicles. For example, there was an Apple spotting in 2017 of Apple using a standard SUV. Looked a lot like a Lexus SUV, equipped with LiDAR sensors to test maybe Apple's algorithm. But what's Tesla doing in the meantime? Tesla has millions of drivers on the road driving their autonomous technology and teaching Tesla's autonomous systems to be better in real-life examples, where Apple doesn't even have their foot in the game. Nio's got their foot in the game. This is why I love Tesla and Nio. But here, Apple's also got some new timelines. See, we originally thought maybe they'll have a car by 2024. That was the rumor when we heard about the project. Reuters reported that. But Apple is now apparently leaking that they might not be production ready for another 5 to 7 years, which means we might not see an Apple car until 2026 to 2028. And this makes sense because if you only have a small team of hardware engineers developing drive systems, designs, and they have plans of eventually shipping a vehicle, but they're not even driving their own prototypes yet, the reality is Apple is not even close to an EV. And instead, we should be focusing our attention and our investments into where we can make the money now. And that is Tesla and Nio. There's a reason why Tesla is skyrocketing. They've got a model that works. They provide cars with maybe not 100% quality, but they get to market and solve the issues down the road. Apple's trying to do their usual, try to create perfection in form and art, but they're going to miss mass market adoption here. And I'm also concerned that Apple's car is going to be relatively unaffordable compared to, by 2026 to 2028, Tesla will probably have a $21,000 car out. Who knows? We'll see. We're all hyped up over a $25,000 car. Watch, battery prices go down. Tesla starts dropping their prices to $19,999. We'll see. But by then, Tesla will be producing 5 to 15 million vehicles a year. It won't matter. Tesla will be so far ahead. Nio will be right on its heels. Maybe Nio will be making a couple million vehicles per year. Apple? I don't know. You're way behind on this one. But these are my thoughts on Tesla, Nio, and Apple. And if you found this useful, consider sharing the video. And if you like my perspective, make sure to check out those courses down below and check out that coupon code as well. Thank you so much, and folks, we'll see you in the next video.